got me spinning liquid.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Jeff Fox Show on a big Monday here in the 305. Two Live News Radio Network, man. We're all over the place today. We're talking about the football games from yesterday. R. Kelly's in the news, you know, and I know how a lot of you feel about that. What we're going to do now, we're going to go to the Bamboo Shack guest line, and we're going to talk with a great friend of the show, the one, the only, Miko Grimes is in the building. Good afternoon, Miko. How you doing? Good to talk to you, man. What you been up to?
Well, we just left Tampa about a week ago, so we're back home here in South Florida, you know, in Davie, living our best life. Got a new dog for the new year, so in the process of training a puppy.
I saw that on your social media.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's a nice gift.
Yeah, Aiden wanted a sibling, and I am done having children, so the dog is the best I could do.
No doubt. Hey, what's going on with Brent, man? People, inquiring minds want to know. Is he hanging it up? Are you guys contemplating back and forth? What's going on over there?
Well, if you had asked me in training camp this year, I would have said he's absolutely retiring. You know, this season with the Bucks really was a first time in 13 years that I'd ever seen my husband so disappointed and upset. This is before any game was ever played. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he was just really upset because he was once again bamboozled, you know, by the coaching staff or possibly the GM. I really think it's the coaching staff. But, you know, so he was a little bit frustrated and frazzled and said he's never playing again and so sick of the league. But, you know, after, you know, having a wife like me, I encouraged him. You know, I just was like, don't take this year to think that this is how everybody is and how it's going to go next year if you go to another team. So I've just been trying to keep his mind open because he's still so very talented and still moves exactly the same way he moved 6 years ago. So nothing's changed physically. You know, he's just, you know, thinking that the game isn't – he doesn't like that people – you know, the NFL is just not honest. It's not genuine. It's not real. Mm-hmm. And it's starting to get to him. Before, it never got to him because he just loved the game. He just loved to play. But now he's starting to figure out the disrespect and the things that take place is getting deeper and deeper for him. So I'm just not sure he's going to play again or not. I want him to because I say you go out on your own.
Right.
You know? But, you know, he may just be tired of just the BS stuff that, you know, the fans don't hear about. The stuff the media doesn't even know about, let alone have them report it.
Right. You know, when I think of Brent Grimes, man, I think of that interception against the Detroit Lions when he was a member of the Miami Dolphins, that one-handed grab over Calvin Johnson. That's probably still the greatest interception that I've ever seen. Like,
it is for me.
Have you ever seen anything like that, remotely close to that?
No, the only thing I saw was the very first interception I ever saw him catch as his girlfriend was against Drew Brees Monday night against the Saints in 2009. Mm-hmm. And it was a very similar play. The only difference is he got up higher than this one. He just didn't leap like across the field. He just boing like Tigger jumped straight up and grabbed one. That was 2009. He's still jumping the same way today. So, I mean, the boy is just talented. But he's done some pretty special things, but that Detroit interception is probably the greatest I've ever seen.
Yeah. We're talking with Miko Grimes here on the Jeff Fox Show. Miko, what'd you think of the games this past weekend as the playoffs have started around the league? Any surprises for you so far?
The only surprise for me was that the Cowboys won. I didn't expect that to happen. But the other ones I pretty much predicted, even though I went for the Bears against the Eagles, and that's only because Brent pressured me. Because he's, you know, obviously an Eagles fan, so he was cheering for his team. And, we've been arguing about the Bears all season because he just wouldn't give Mitchell Trubisky any respect. So he's like, why don't you take the Bears? And I'm like, fine. But I knew the Eagles were going to win, so that wasn't a surprise. But the Cowboys winning a close game against the Seahawks was a little bit shocking to me, but you know that you never know what you're going to get with Dak Prescott. Sometimes you get a good quarterback, sometimes you get a bum. So he was pretty decent on that day.
Yeah,
everybody else was
Dak looked great, man, especially to run up the middle to seal the game.
Yeah.
And Jason Garrett, he gets a playoff victory, a rare one. And I think he's like 2-2 now or something like that. But I like the Cowboys, Miko. I like that defense.
It's a pretty solid defense. They do a lot of good things. The defense is never going to win you a game, though. You really need your quarterback to win you the game. So as long as Dak plays good, doesn't matter if they have great defense or not, they're going to win. If he doesn't play good,
right,
they're going to lose.
Yeah. We saw a tough game for Lamar Jackson yesterday as the Ravens went down against the...
I predicted that.
Yeah.
Exactly the way it went. I didn't predict the comeback they had, but I thought they probably scored 3 or 6 points the whole game. I predicted that because the Chargers had already seen them before, knew what they did to them last time. They should know what to do. They have a great coach who should probably be Coach of the Year if you keep it in a buck, but probably won't get it. And they did it, outside of the comeback, letting them creep back in and making it interesting. They did exactly what I thought they would do. Lamar Jackson is a great story, but you're never going to get far if your quarterback can't throw the ball. So.
Yeah, nice effort from him, and the Ravens have made the commitment. I mean,
yes.
How about that? Harbaugh said after the game that they're moving on from Joe Flacco. Like this is Lamar Jackson's team now.
That wasn't a surprise. Now, giving Lamar Jackson the team is a surprise, but moving on from Flacco, you can see that coming from a mile away. They've been wanting to move on from him. Mm-hmm. But you could tell that he's got a couple injuries and things that are going on that they probably don't want to take into their future. They probably feel like, we're going to get out while we can, and we got Lamar. And I don't think Lamar is the long-term future either, to be honest with you, but you never know.
Yeah.
The guys really like him, and they can, if he can progress and throwing the ball, because he can obviously run the ball, he's pretty smart. And if he can just make better throws, you never know. I wouldn't put them in any Super Bowl talks ever if he's the quarterback, but no, there's a lot of teams that don't win the Super Bowl every year, and they're just fine. So,
no doubt. Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. It's very hard to see a young quarterback come in and succeed. We see Lamar lose. We see Trubisky go down. Mm-hmm. And then now it's time for the graybeards. 41-year-old Tom Brady, old-ass Drew Brees. I mean, how these guys still... Ben Roethlisberger, Ben didn't even make the playoffs, but guys that age that are successful, Phillip Rivers is who I meant to say.
Well, you know why they're successful is because this league is designed for them. You can't touch them. You can't blink at them. You can't flinch at them. They're protected. The person they're throwing the ball to can't get hit too hard, can't get touched up to 5 yards. So the league is designed for gray-bearded quarterbacks to play until they're 40 years old.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way, and I'm telling you right now, I like the matchups this weekend coming up. I hope the Patriots lose, but I'm not betting against Tom Brady until I see somebody beat him. I mean, I just can't do it. What do you think?
Yeah, a lot of us are like that. I have never in my life bet against Tom Brady. I've thought he was going to lose before, but I didn't bet against him. And this year, I still wouldn't bet against him. However, I feel like this is the year for sure to do it.
I've said that many times before, Miko. I don't know.
I've never said it before. I've put Tom Brady in every Super Bowl since I can remember him playing a quarterback position. This is the first year I don't have him in my Super Bowl. First year.
No doubt. Hey, what's your Twitter? Were you still on Twitter? You still rocking your Twitter?
No, I don't. I do have Twitter, but I don't tell anybody what it is because I don't want to be bothered. I'm just a lurker now.
Yeah.
If people just want my Twitter just to harass me, that's how I got kicked off, from replying to harassment. And it's crazy that if you're famous and you retaliate, you get kicked off.
You get penalized.
But the lame people with the fake pages that, come on here and disrespect you, they can say whatever they want, and they're fine.
That's that bullshit.
Do anything to them. It's the same way as everything else. Look at Kevin Hart. Everybody that's talking trash to Kevin Hart has probably made some gay jokes, some homosexual jokes, and they're all ridiculing him and berating him because he's famous. No one cares unless you're famous. Right. If you're famous, then what you say matters. If you're not, you can be an idiot on the street, some lame, lifeless loser with no job. And you call everybody you want the F-bomb, the N-bomb, everything, and you're fine. But the minute you're famous, the minute you have a blue check by your name, suddenly the things you say matter. And that's society today. It's ridiculous. We're giving too much power to a whole bunch of losers that nobody really cares about anyway.
Yeah, let's talk about Antonio Brown and the Pittsburgh Steelers situation. What did you make of AB's action? Do you think he goes back to Pittsburgh? And do you fault him in any way?
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but what I do know is he was pissed off, and whatever happened pissed him off to the point where he didn't want to play. My husband was in a very similar situation, week 17. I actually talked him into playing in that game because he wanted to quit. He wanted to not play anymore. He told the coaches as much. Told them he was done playing for them. They begged him to play in week 17. Begged him. And so people think they got it figured out. They think they know everything about this sport. They think you should be so happy that someone's paying you millions of dollars to play a sport. It's a lot deeper on the inside. There's a lot of disrespect that takes place, and these players aren't always allowed to say anything because the minute they do, they get this label as a cancer, as a guy no one wants to play for. And then sometimes you reach your breaking point. You just say, I've had it, and you don't want to play. You literally don't care what happens to the organization. And I can understand it because my husband has been there. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just...
Is there something going on, and you don't have to answer, off record, yeah, but is there something going on between the Bucks and the Grimes family at the moment? What's all this stuff going? No? There was something going on between the defensive coordinator and the DB coach and the Grimes family. That's it. That's the only people we had an issue with. The Bucks organization did nothing wrong to us. Nothing. Right. The GM didn't do anything wrong. The head coach didn't do anything wrong that I know of. Right. We're still trying to figure everything out. But the defensive back coach and the defensive coordinator was extremely disrespectful and lied and disrespected my husband. And that's when the beef kind of started. And instead of doing what I did in Miami, because it wasn't the same situation. Right. The Bucks weren't trying to force us to stay in a contract or anything like that. The Dolphins were. So I had to do what I had to do to get him out of that contract. This year, there is no situation like that. He's a free agent after the season. So I just shut it up, kept quiet, and allowed him to finish out the season. Any chance you guys go back to Tampa, though, you think?
Absolutely a chance, as long as the coaches aren't there. Mm-hmm. My husband will come to the Dolphins if Ryan Tannehill ain't there.
He might not be.
Right.
He might not be.
Ryan Tannehill's there, and long as Tannenbaum's not making any decisions, I don't see the problem. The owner is going to be the owner. I think all the owners are exactly the same: greedy, dirty, shisty billionaires. That's not going to change throughout the league. So it's not like we're saying, oh, we only want to play for an owner that's nice. All of them are the exact same. It's about who disrespected us. And it was Ryan Tannehill, because people don't know everything that he said about me because I haven't exposed it because it's going to be in my book. Right. But he said very disrespectful things about me along with his wife and Mike Tannenbaum. Now, I think Stephen Ross was just being a puppet and saying, whatever he was told, but it's whatever. All 32 teams were available for except for a team with Ryan Tannehill or Mike Smith.
Word up. There you have it, folks. Right here, exclusive on the Jeff Fox Show. Miko Grimes keeping it 100 as far as the availability of Brent Grimes back in the National Football League. Will he come back? We'll see. Miko, let's talk about somebody that had a really, really bad weekend outside of the teams that lost to the NFL. And that's one R. Kelly, man.
You think he had a bad weekend?
I think he had a bad weekend, man,
no,
because
he did not.
You don't think so?
No, his streaming sales went up almost 20% after that show aired. He had a great weekend. He got a big check from that show.
Yeah, but do you think his career is over?
No.
He'll bounce back from this.
Yes, because people truly don't care. They don't. It's a knee-jerk reaction to something that's been happening 25 years. It was in black and white on, 2005 to 95. He married Aaliyah at 15. People have known this for so long. There was a sex tape with him urinating on a 13-year-old. There's been so many things, and people still buy his albums and go to his concerts. It's not really a lose because people don't. You know who cares? Celebrities. You know why they care? Because they have to fake like they care to the people that they want to make sure to still support them. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them have done that too.
On. Huh?
A lot of them have done stuff like that too, and they don't want it all to come out. You know,
Yes,
they're like,
there's so many of them that are extremely guilty of the exact same thing. The only difference is they didn't do it for 25 years, they didn't record it, and they're not still currently doing it. It was something that if they came out, they would say, oh, I was young, I was doing stupid things, and blah, blah, blah. A lot of them won't speak on this because they're the exact same person. They want to make sure that their little ghosts stay where they are as well.
yeah, I mean, the fact that Lifetime was beating it into the ground, and then
Mm-hmm.
you got people like John Legend have come out, R&B singer Tank,
Mm-hmm.
what's the Viola Davis, the actress.
Yeah.
The Me Too movement is here, and they've slayed a lot of careers. They've killed a lot of careers. R. Kelly
But
survived
R. Kelly-
25 years.
R. Kelly is equivalent to O.J. Simpson. You know, he somehow got a white man pass. He got a pass in the judicial system. I don't know how he did it, but he's untouchable. And I truly believe it's because, first, none of these girls will testify against him. They
Right.
won't. You know, and everyone's saying, oh, they're brainwashed. Well, you know what? In order for them to get brainwashed, in order for them to even, hey, she's in the toilet. You know, in order for them to even be so excited about meeting a celebrity, I think it starts at home. And people keep saying, don't try to blame the parents. Well, let me tell you something, Jeff. I mean, I'll just keep this as real as I can.
Mm-hmm.
My son, and I get it, my husband's a professional athlete. I'm a retired athlete. But my son didn't know we were athletes until a couple years ago. And we're his biggest, like, he thinks we are everything. I was upset that I even had to tell my son that LeBron James makes more money than my husband because I don't want him to think of anyone bigger than us. No star should be able to come in your child's life and give them the googly eyes and make them do whatever this person does over you as their parent. And I feel
agree.
I feel like you failed as a parent if you can't get your child out of a trance. That's a trance, you know? And you have to take some accountability for that. And a lot of these parents physically signed for their children that are minors to go on tour with him because he said he's going to make them a big star. That's important to you? That matters? Well, he wasn't found guilty of any of those charges, so you didn't see him piss on that little girl? Like, people are making excuses when in reality, they're just as starstruck as their child is, and you wonder why your child won't leave because you've made these people bigger than life. You've made them think that their life isn't important and isn't going to matter if they're not famous, if they don't do whatever this is that they're doing with R. Kelly. If they're not a singer. My son, I've always told him, whatever you are, I'm going to be proud of it. You do not have to be famous. You have to just be a great person.
That's awesome. That's awesome advice, man. Charles Barkley said many years ago, I'm not a role model. I should be your kid's role model. And you're right. My role model has always been my dad. That's the one dude I always tried to impress. And he's not easily impressed. Just put it that way.
Right. You know, that's what Brent is. I'm easy to impress because I think I'm the mom, you know. But Brent, let me tell you, he has my son crying half the days because Brent is not impressed. He's hard on him. And he lets him know, like, you're not going to get anything for free. Nothing's easy. No one's going to give you anything. You have to work. Don't accept anything from anyone. It's never going to be free. You know, you have to start instilling this into your child now. And you know what's the biggest issue that I have with a lot of this stuff that's going on? Mm-hmm. A lot of these kids, so let me say this. So my son's right here, so I can't really.
Yeah. Give us the edited version.
Because I don't want you to hear this. Just go in here for 10 seconds. Go inside. Aiden, stop talking back to me. So I was molested as a child.
Right.
And my family did not want me to let the rest of my family know. We had to keep it a secret.
Wow.
You can come out now. So a lot of people are like that. They allow their own children to be molested. They allow their own family members to be sexually assaulted and pedophilia to happen in their house. But then you want to sit here and say something to R. Kelly. No. Why? Because he's famous? Why not when your little niece got molested? Why wasn't anything said? When your cousin got raped by your uncle? Anything. People are fake.
Yeah.
They're fake.
And the truth is, you know, this happens. This happens a lot.
It's not right.
It happens a lot with families, and that's why when my kids were growing up, I wouldn't let them have sleepovers, and I wouldn't let them sleep over to people's house. I couldn't trust it. I had girls.
I wish my mom was more like that, and she wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sorry you had to deal with that, but from the way you sound, Miko, you're a strong person and you bounce back. And
it took me realizing that adults are not always good people.
Right.
They don't always care. And I had to learn that every adult, like you teach kids all, I had to learn also, I used to tell my son that teachers are very smart and you should listen to them. And I still believe that, but they're smart, but they're more like educated. So as you grow up, you learn things.
Yeah.
You learn that everything that you're taught is not always true.
No doubt.
And so.
No doubt. Hey, what's good with your podcast?
My podcast is doing great, actually. Last week was obviously a crazy one because Brent finally, spoke. And I'm listening to all these radio stations here in Miami. It's clear your girl is still the topic of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't, been on the radio here in 3 years, but I'm still a number one topic. And so people are actually saying that I forced Brent to say all the stuff he said last week, and I forced him to not shadow receivers. I didn't force Brent to do anything. Brent is a grown man. Brent came home to me and told me what happened at practice and what he said to the coaching staff. And, I'm always speaking for him because of the rules of the NFL and how you can get kicked out, you can get treated a certain way. So I've always spoken for him as a business decision for us.
Right.
Because it's
not trying to get fined.
Business. Yes. Or kicked off the team or, lose his job. But at this point, he's like, you know what? If a team doesn't like my truth and doesn't like what I have to say, then I don't want to be on their team anyway.
No doubt.
Because you got teams that are just flat out lying. We got defensive linemen on our team coming from other teams, and they're like, yo, the freaking coach told me I was going to be doing this when I got here, and now I'm doing this. Like, what's going on? Like, that happens so much. It's almost equivalent to if you had a job and you're say you work at McDonald's and you're a burger maker or a fry maker, and your boss comes in one day, you're making probably a little more than minimum wage, and your boss comes in and says you're going to be the manager for the rest of the year. We need you to make the schedule. We need you to make sure you're here early, open the store. You might have to close on your same salary. And people just can't understand it because it's so much more money than they make. It's still disrespect.
Yeah, it's not fair. You're being misled, bamboozled, led astray.
Yes, and this is what I say to people all the time. They're like, well, so what? He's the number one corner on the team. Well, here's the thing. When we were negotiating, they weren't talking to us like he was number one. You know what they were saying? He's old.
Wow.
We don't even know if he's going to still be able to play. This is all the money we think he's worth.
Oh, but he can do more work, though.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't pay him like the other corners that make $15 million a year to shadow receivers, but you want him to do that. When we're arguing, he played for 2 years for you. He shadow receivers in both years.
Mm-hmm.
With no question, with no issue. It was because this time around, we were asking for more money because we figured they might do that. And they were like, no, you're an older corner. We just need a veteran. Like they're trying to play like he's just some savvy veteran that's just going to come in one more year and help the young guys. And here you are talking about you want him to shadow every receiver. It wasn't about Antonio Brown. It was about Antonio Brown, Julio Jones twice, Michael Thomas twice, Odell Beckham Jr., A.J. Green. These are all the receivers that they told him they want him to shadow for the year. And he was like, no, it just started with Antonio Brown.
That's kind of, it's kind of deceitful. You know what I mean? To be honest with you.
Extremely.
If that's number one corner work, and then you should get, I agree, Miko. You should get paid number one money if that's the case.
Yes.
You can't say on one hand, well, he's old, but I need you to cover these number one guys every week, the entire game.
Yes. And he told them, well, if you would like to restructure the contract, get me up to $10 million guaranteed for the year, because it was at $7 million guaranteed. He said, get me to 10, I'll shadow whoever you want.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, they didn't want to do it. And you know what else they didn't do? Mm-hmm. They didn't cut him. Why'd you cut him? If it's so disrespectful, why wasn't it in the media that he said it? Why? You know why? Because they know they were wrong.
Right.
And they didn't want him to tell his side of the story and the things that they lied to him about.
Well, I appreciate you keeping it 100 with us here on the show and letting us know what transpired here, Miko. Great friend of the show, man. We always appreciate when you join us And say hello to our homie AJ Francis, man. I don't know the last time you seen AJ.
Oh,
but
AJ was here for the New Year's. We had a onesie party here for New Year's Eve. He came in town for it. So AJ's around all the time.
I saw the karaoke you guys did, man. That was hilarious.
AJ had a good time.
Tell him don't quit his day job.
Right. AJ's a rapper now. You better watch out.
Yeah. No. The lyrics now. He got bars. He do got bars.
Yeah, definitely.
Can't lie about it.